Hello everyone, I'm Sauce on Twitch, and I made a DPS calculator for every unit in Set 8 so you could test out different builds and optimize different boards. This video is just going to be a brief rundown on how to use the calculator. In a separate video, I'm going to go over all the calculations and formulas used to make this calculator. So on the first page, this is a page that has all the stats of every unit in Set 8. So the units are listed first by their cost and then by alphabetical order in their cost bracket. And we can see that every stat is listed here: health, attack damage, range, attack speed, armor, MR, and then their ability damage is here, along with how much mana it costs for them to cast their ability. But all the magic's really happening on the second page here. So on the damage calculator sheet, this is where you could see the DPS output of any given unit in the set. So right now we're looking at Ashe, and all of Ashe's stats are populated into the top. And the three places you want to look are DPS from autos, DPS from ability, and DPS total. And these are all exactly what they sound like. So DPS from auto is how much damage per second Ashe is doing from just her auto attacks at all the different star levels. DPS from ability is how much damage per second Ashe is doing from just her ability. And then DPS total is how much damage Ashe is doing when you combine both her autos and her ability. And this DPS total is where you want to focus most of your attention. So for example, if we have a 1-star Ashe with no items on her, we would expect her to deal 71 DPS. Okay, and if you want to know what that would look like in a fight, let's say there's a fight that lasts 20 seconds, then she would deal 71 DPS times 20 seconds, and she would deal about 1,425 damage. Okay, but I'm sure you're curious what happens when you start adding items onto these units. And that's why we have these yellow boxes. So these are for input for different items and traits that your unit might have. So in this example, I've just wrote some numbers off to the side here. And let's say we're playing the board shown above. And on this board, you can see that Ashe has the recon trait active. So we're going to give her 20% crit chance. So instead of 0% crit chance added, we're going to give her 20%. Then we're going to also see that she has a Deathblade and a Giant Slayer. So the Deathblade is going to give her 60% attack damage. So her attack multiplier is now 1.6. And then the GS is going to give her 30% attack damage added. So her attack multiplier is now 1.9. And then it's going to give 20 AP. And then 10% attack speed. So her attack speed multiplier goes to 1.1 now. Okay, and then with all those changes, we can now see that our 1-star Ashe is going to do 151 DPS, and a 2-star Ashe would do 240 DPS. So on our board, we have a 2-star Ashe, so she's doing 240 DPS. Now let's say we hit a Z1 in our shop, and we want to know if on our board it is worth it to transition into a Z1 from our Ashe 2. So you could just go to the top left here where we have Ashe, and we're going to hit the drop down menu. And then these champions are still going to be listed by their cost and then alphabetical order. So we're going to scroll down to the 4 costs, and the bottom of the 4 costs is where we're going to find Zed. And we can see that Zed's stats auto-populated into the top here, but the items that we've inputted into these yellow boxes has remained the same. But we have to change a few things. Because with Zed, he is now not benefiting from the recon trait, so we could get rid of this crit chance, move it back to 0, but instead Zed now has the duelist trait active. So for this duelist trait, he's getting 6% attack speed per auto, up to 10 autos, and let's just say that he has about 5 stacks on average throughout the fight. So let's give him a 30% attack speed boost. This goes up to 1.4. And we can see now that our 1-star Zed is dealing more damage than our 2-star Ashe. So it would make sense to switch out those two units. In addition, the Zed unit is going to be benefiting from the hacker trait, meaning his DPS is going to be going onto their backline carries, making it more effective than Ashe's damage, who's going onto the front line. And so that is the brief overview of how you use this damage calculator. You could select any unit here. You could enter in the stats from their traits and from their items, and then you could see their DPS total that they are doing. There's a few exceptions, and that is any champion listed on the bottom here has something weird going on with their ability. So for example, Poppy and Rammus both have armor scalings, and so on these there are separate boxes to enter in armor values for these champions. And then Renekton and Sylas have HP scalings, and so on and so forth. All these champions have something slightly different. So if you want to know the DPS for one of these champions, you're going to have to go and click into that tab manually. And then lastly, Aphelios and Urgot have very weird abilities, and it's hard to calculate their damage exactly, so I'm still working on those too. Have fun with the DPS calculator, and I'm going to be streaming on Twitch right when the set goes live, so I hope to see you around. Bye.